Hi, this is Laura Staley, and I'm back with another video about Excel. Now, this topic you might not have thought much about, but it's something that you may find will come in handy, especially if you have complex functions or formulas in your spreadsheet. Let me give you a couple scenarios that show where we're headed, and then we'll talk about it. Let's say that you create a massive spreadsheet. It doesn't even have to be that massive, but a complex spreadsheet, and you have your functions and your formulas, and some of your functions and formulas are fairly complex. And then you get it done, it looks great, but you don't need to access it again for another 6 months. So 6 months go by, you open it up again, you take a look at it, and you think, what was I thinking 6 months ago? I don't even remember what I was doing. In that case, you may wish that you had some documentation in your spreadsheet, sort of giving you an idea of what some of those complex formulas were doing, and so that you could update it for whatever current data that you have. Or let me give you a more likely scenario. You create a beautiful spreadsheet. You have all your data in it. You have your functions, your formulas. You've gone through quite a bit of analysis, and then you send it to someone, and they just don't get the flow of your logic. They don't understand what the formulas, the data that it's giving them. And you may wish that you had some documentation in the file so that when they were going through it, they would have an idea of the type of results that you're giving them and why it's important. So that is what we're talking about, is documenting your functions and your formulas specifically, so that you or other people can remember and or understand where you are going with the logic and flow of your spreadsheets. So let's take a look at it. Now, some of you are probably already familiar with comments, and that's what I'm going to cover first, comments and notes. If you go to review on your ribbon, you have comments here and you have notes over here. Now realize I use Office 365, and Microsoft changed the functionality somewhat in Office 365. And what it did is it took the traditional comments and changed them into like a threaded discussion. So you can put a comment in, send it to other people, and they can reply to your comment and put a reply, and then you can put a response to their reply, and it can go through multiple iterations. So it then took the old fashioned comment, which is just a simple note, and made it a, go figure, a note. So that's what the notes over here is. It's the old fashioned comments. So if all you have is comments with no notes, then you just have the simple notes that you can enter. So I'm not going to go into the common functionality because that's not what this video is about. I may do another video in the future about that. But for now, I'm just going to come in and put new note, and it comes down here and it automatically shows my name. I want it to, my computer name, which is owner. I'm going to put my first name and then say this cell sums the cells if there is the correct text, or whatever it is you want to say. So once I've entered it, I click off of it. Now, if you notice in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little red triangle, and that indicates that there is a note there. So if I put my pointer over it, it shows the note and the person can read it. So you can be reminded that it's there, or whoever you send it to can hover their pointer over this cell and see what you typed. Now, the issue with that is they have to notice it and realize what it is to go see it, which if you're dealing with someone who knows Excel, that's probably not a problem, but be aware that you may want to tell them that there are comments or notes in it if you choose to go down this path. Okay, so that is the sort of old-fashioned way of putting in some documentation about your functions and formulas. And of course, comments and notes can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about functions and formulas. It could be about a meeting that's coming up and why the data is important or whatever it is. But the second way, the more unconventional way that I'm going to show you to put in some documentation, is really all about functions and formulas. So let me show that to you. So if I click on the cell, notice the results are 131 and the formula is up here. We're going to use the N function, N like Nancy. Now the N function does various things with mathematical calculations, and I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to show you the syntax for putting in a comment about your function. Realize that I have a corresponding blog post and I will put the link in the description. So if you want to see this in writing, you can click on that and go and take a look at some of the details that I'm showing you now. So I'm going to come up here and basically I'm going to turn this into a formula and I'm going to add the N function. So I'm going to type in a plus and then N like Nancy again, and then I'm going to do open parenthesis. And then I'm going to put a double quotation mark, and then I'm going to put whatever my comment is. So in this case, I am going to say this result is the sum of the cells greater than the average. Okay, so then I put the double quotation to close that comment and then the closing parenthesis. So I've got my sum if function, which is exactly like it was before, and then plus N open parenthesis, double quotation marks, my comment, double quotation marks, and closing parenthesis. When I get done, I hit enter. Notice that the result has not changed. It's 131. And if I click back on that cell up in the formula bar, there's my comment. So if someone, whether you or someone else, is looking up at the formula to see sort of what is there, they will also see the comments. And this is a way of putting in comments about your functions and formulas specifically, and without cluttering your file with those triangles. Now, if the functionality of notes and comments is more what you need, then use them. Then that would be worth it. But this is an alternative not a lot of people know. So think about your spreadsheet and whether you have big enough or files or complex functions enough that this might come in handy. The next time I do an Excel video, it will be about dates, and that is a monster topic. A lot of people have problems with dates anyway in Excel, but they don't know the full functionality of everything that they can do with dates and functions and formulas and how that can help them make their points in their spreadsheet. So we will cover that the next time. So in the meantime, have a good day, and I will see you with the next video.